Coming up on the Alabama Football Report, we will discuss the Domani Jackson rumors, as it appears Alabama is in the mix for the former five-star top recruit transfer defensive back. We will also spend some time discussing the Rose Bowl CFP Semifinal between Alabama and Michigan, which of course we will be live for. And if you want Alabama to win the CFP Semifinal at the Rose Bowl for your Christmas, that's your Christmas wish, knowing it won't arrive until the new year, then like today's video right now. I think every single person should like it, so make sure that happens right away. Let's go back to the transfer portal, though, to begin today's video, because you're in the weird off seasons here for college football. Also, there's another CFP semifinal going on here. USC cornerback Domani Jackson, the former five-star recruit, has entered the transfer portal. And the early buzz per On3 is that Alabama and Michigan are the leaders to land Jackson. They were among the finalists to get him when he initially committed to USC, but the Trojans kind of teetering a little bit in a negative standpoint there. Here were his coverage stats for the 2023 campaign, 11 games played. The numbers are not great. 411 yards allowed, only 2 pass breakups, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns. We also know a lot about that USC defense. It was bad. I don't know how much you can really glean from hey, he was, good, he was not good. When the entire unit is just kind of a nightmare, it's really unfair to try to judge too heavily on an individual standpoint. But this is a former top-tier recruit. He was a 5-star back in the class of 2022. He was the number 5 overall recruit. He was good friends with Will Johnson up at Michigan, which is a big factor in why the Wolverines are the mix. Plus, Bama was a finalist last time around as well. The number 2 ranked corner, the number 1 player from the state of California in his class. Now he's available, and it is very understandable why Bama, which doesn't normally go that hard after transfer recruits, is in the mix. A talented player they liked initially. Jackson probably more focused on some of the development side than getting a big fat NIL check at this stage. And Bama needs help. Think about it this way. You are going to lose Kool-Aid McKinstry. Jaylen Key is gone. Malachi Moore is going to be gone. We would assume Terrion Arnold's gone as a potential first-round pick in this upcoming NFL draft, which means you're losing, if you count Moore as a corner, quote-unquote, you're losing somewhere, or you're losing somebody. And you got some good guys coming in, but that leaves you 1 true starter back in your secondary. And your corners are all going to be new. Now, Trey Amos has eligibility left. Maybe Antonio Kite, Earl Little, somebody steps up, but don't you feel a little bit better about some of those safeties than you do the young corners? Adding a veteran who you could plug and play on the outside would be a significant move for Alabama. I would love to get him. It'd be a massive transfer portal addition. So do you want Domani Jackson to transfer to Alabama? T for transfer, P for pass. Go ahead and sound off for me in the comment section of today's video. T for transfer, P for pass. It's the pinned comment, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and go vote. The Rose Bowl CFP semifinal is finally just around the corner. We will have a full preview for you guys, by the way, on the channel. We'll discuss this throughout the next week or so, since it is so heavily impactful. Here's what Dallas Turner said about playing Michigan. Quote, "We've got to bring our hard hats whenever we play them, and we've just got to be the more physical team. We've got to practice like that throughout the week, pick up on every single tendency that they do as an offense." Let's get the overview here of the Alabama offense against the Michigan defense. Well, you can see why both of these teams are in the college football playoff semifinal, can't you? Bama's averaging 35 points per game. The Michigan defense allowing just 9.5. Total yards per game, 400 for Bama, quite good. Less than 240 allowed. Now again, Michigan's schedule was not that daunting. Specifically outside of Ohio State, it was not exactly a challenging schedule. I mean, Big Ten games against Iowa. Iowa has 0 offense to speak of. The flip side here, and this is where maybe you get some concern, is that run defense against the run offense. Bama's run defense kind of faltered down the stretch this year. Michigan, they went an entire half against Penn State not throwing a pass. It was all runs. It was kind of hilarious in that standpoint because it's very uncommon. That's some, NCAA 14 stuff when you're just beating up on your younger brother or whatever. But these are two of the best teams in football. You know that going in. It's why that spread is down there at just 1. Now, today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. They are the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. It's pretty simple, easy, and fun to use. You pick 2 to 6 player stat projections and choose more than or less than on passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, whatever, touchdowns are there sometimes. Choose those players, and you can go with the power play, which has got to get every pick right to cash out, bigger return. Or you go with the flex play, just got to get 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, whatever. I love the flex play. I've hit 8 of my 11. We'll see how this Sunday NFL slate goes for me. Went off to a good start with Josh Allen hitting. Here's my Rose Bowl slate of Prize Picks selections. More than Jalen Milroe passing yards, more than Roman Wilson receiving yards, and more than Jalen Milroe rushing yards. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Let's talk turnover margin here. Very important to always consider that, especially in these types of big games where Michigan had issues last year against TCU. Michigan is second in the nation in turnover margin this year. They are plus 17. Bama a little bit behind, and if you take out some of those early season games, it looks a lot better because they're a different team now. Plus 8, tied for 18th in the country. The big boost for Bama here is the explosive plays. 10-plus yard runs, 20-plus yard pass. 75th for Alabama. That's tied for 11th. Michigan, because they don't throw it as much and they're more of a control offense, especially kind of down the stretch here when Harbaugh was suspended, 61st, tied for 47th. The Jermaine Burton explosive play has been oh so fun this year for Alabama. So pick the score for me of the Rose Bowl CFP Semifinal. I assume most of you have Bama winning, but please specify who you have as well in the comments section. We mentioned the not-so-great schedule for Michigan. They beat Penn State. That was I think McCarthy threw like 7 passes the entire game. It was just run all second half. Penn State could not stop them. They beat Ohio State in a close thriller, 30-24. And they beat Iowa 26-0 in that game because Iowa's offense is terrible. Their defense is actually very good. The 26 points actually kind of a decent point total there for Penn State. Now, J.J. McCarthy did not play well in the CFP semifinal last year. He has been very sharp, though, for Michigan this season. The issue is he hasn't always been pushed to have to make a bunch of big plays through the air. He has the mobility. He has the arm strength. I like his throwing motion as well. There's a lot to like in McCarthy, but this game matters a lot for him because he has to showcase what he can do against a better team, against a top-tier team in Alabama. I think Bama's game plan, understandably so, is make McCarthy beat you. He might be able to, but you'd rather die that death than the slow, painful 1,000 cuts of allowing Michigan to just run against you. Here's what Terrion Arnold compared, or I should say who Terrion Arnold compared J.J. McCarthy to. Joe Burrow. When you're playing against somebody, you have to give them the credit that they deserve. And J.J., he's a very good athlete. Look at him on film and things like that. It surprises you how much he actually does run. Like he scrambles, he has his eyes downfield. Now, we mentioned the running game for Michigan. It is led this year by Blake Corum. 218 carries, 1,000 yards this season. Only 4.7 yards per carry. It's much more of a, again, controlled ground attack. They also have Donovan Edwards, who I was very excited to see how he would play, how he would break out. He had 991 yards last year, averaged 7.1 yards per carry. Michigan loses some O-line pieces. His numbers plummet to 3.5 yards per carry. But don't sleep on Edwards. Corum came back from his injury. He has been very good this year. 24 touchdowns. You know, Eagles do their tush push. Michigan does the Blake Corum handoff. That's all. The Corum carry. That's all they need down there in the red zone. The number one receiver this year has been Roman Wilson, who you will see on Sundays along with Corum and McCarthy, and frankly, almost every starter in this football game, if we're being honest, on both sides of the football. Very good chance of that happening. Wilson, 41 catches, 662 yards. He averages 16.1 yards per catch. He's prone to some big plays, 11 touchdowns. They've also used Colston Loveland, the tight end, and Cornelius Johnson, the other wide receivers, pretty heavily. We will be live for the Rose Bowl CFP Semifinals, so make sure you are subscribed. Do not miss out right here on the Alabama Football Report. It's youtube.com/@RollTideTV.